You know what I always find funny, right?
Americans? Oh, he's gone. That's awesome.
That people think Pete is this person who just doesn't tolerate anything, but he must be African. Oh my fucking God, we're kind of a fucking country.
I'm in love with that. I don't know how that worked, but John, you need to record that and put that into everything we ever do.
That was amazing.
That was my favorite thing ever. John. John, ready? Three, ready? Three, do it. 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
People think Pete is this person who just doesn't tolerate anything, but he must be African. Oh my fucking God, what a kind of a fucking country.
Damn it, John. I love how you have to slow down the Australians to understand what they're saying. Granted, it probably was a technical glitch as well, but still, it's a little bit of Aussie twang in you. It's that fucking outback down under. It's the bloomin' onion. No one can hear about it. You bloomin' onion.
Welcome, everybody.
Welcome, folks. We are the Two-Sided. We are here every Tuesday, Thursday, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. We are live on YouTube on Thursdays. We are also live on the stereo streets all of those days. But if you can't catch us live, you can find us on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Twitter, Instagram, Patreon. That's it. That's all we do. We don't do anything else. There's nothing else we do. And I won't even entertain the idea of branching out more. The last jokes we made, John,
maybe a little bit.
I had farmers up and down the street with their tractors blocking up my road, furious of the jokes we were making about farmers only and fans only. And you know what? Some people can't take a joke, and apparently farmers are one of those communities.
We should join the other page, Furious Only.
Bro, not only am I a member, I'm the president. Oh!
And how?
All right, buddy. Wait, oh, shit. Way I look at it. Can you start anything? Have I pulled anything out? All right, cool.
Well, that's not me. They're not mutually exclusive. I think we should do a shot and actually start the show. What do you think?
Oh, God, yes. I thought you would never ask. I was so set up with everything, but I didn't have that. And now I do. You know what? Oh, my God, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Dub's here from the inception, so I don't have to get drunk and like tell him about all the shots I did before he got here and started saying, you don't drink enough.
Click that link above your head.
If you click that link above your head,
right now on the stereo street. Wait, there's no link there, John.
Hey, John, where's the link?
Hey, John, where's the link?
It disappeared again. Holy crap.
What do we do? I don't even know what happened. That's some bullshit. Maybe that's because we said we were advertising. Anyway, we're on the YouTube. If you go to YouTube, our handle is Two-Sided. That's our handle on all our social medias. If you go to YouTube and type in Two-Sided under live broadcast, you can see our beautiful faces right now and see exactly the damage we are doing to our livers, our job prospects, and any relationship we might have in the near future. But folks, thanks for tuning in. Here's to you. Bink, bink, bink. Cheers. Oh my God, I still have background on. Okay, I'll hit buttons, but I gotta take that background off. Dub!
Loku, Vivi, Wozniak, Julie Prunes, Mind Fox, how are you, sir? John L. Peacock, Esquire, good evening. My boy Pete, well, yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And folks, you know what? Here's a good idea. Just when you find us on the YouTubes right now today, just because we know stereo is so glitchy about getting those links up, it's best when you find that YouTube page if you subscribe, hit that subscribe, hit that like, and hit that alert button. So that way you always have it in your favorites. You always have your subscriptions, and you're always given a notification whenever we go live. And I'll have you know, I told John, if we ever commit a horrible crime, I want it to be live. Because if it's like, hey man, there's no going back from this, we're Thelma Louising our way out of the world. I mean, not Not that we'd ever drive a Cadillac off a cliff. That'd be a travesty. But I digress. Anyway, has to be live. So hit that like, smash that alert. Tell your friends, tell your parents, tell your parole officer. We'll be here. Oh shit, my Fox.
The two-sided pod getting trolled by stereo on a Thursday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Miss Julie? Mr. Muse Lover? How y'all living?
Giddy up Thursday. Man, we're about to make this week our bitch. 8 more hours and this thing's on damn rear view mirror. It's one more tour and a wake up, baby. We can make it. I'm just saying, this is how we celebrate. We come together on a Thursday as a community, make stupid decisions, learn from John, take notes. There will be a test in the green room. There'll probably be a fist fight too. I don't know. Things get pretty wild down there. But it's all in celebration that we have one more day and then a weekend this year. So you did it, kids. You goddamn did it. Ain't that right, John?
On YouTube, it's Two-Sided Podcast. Two-Sided Podcast. Or at Two-Sided Pod. Jesus, you guys, come on.
I know. Seriously? Seriously? You don't even get me started. Don't even fucking get me started. John L. Peacock set up all of our socials because I'm a ghost. I'm completely off the grid. Yes, I'm doing a show right now, but this isn't even my real face. Under here, it's probably Nicolas Cage or John Travolta or someone. You guys get it. Face off. Face off. No more waterfalls. No more face waterfalls. But I'm just saying, I don't put my name on any of that stuff. So John did it all, and he's like, "Yeah, we're all the same name, except it's Two-Sided Pod, the Two-Sided Podcast, Two-Sided Pod, Two-Sided, the Two-Sided. I am two-sided. Show me your side, I'll show you mine." It's very difficult to keep up with all of the usernames and passwords he has strewn across the goddamn web.
Man, we all know what time. It's like 5 a.m. Greenwich Meanwich sandwich time.
4 a.m. baby.
I got my Greenwich Meanwich sandwich. I'm only on my second beer, so we're good. I'm standing in front of the grill. Life is good.
Hell yeah. Grilling, stand in front of the grill with a beer. And good for you, man, that you're only drinking beer. Like, that's good, man. That's good. I remember when I was 12. Ain't that right, John? No, I'm not beer shaming. I'm grill jealous. I think that's how I react. I just lash out at what others have. They say the grass is always greener in someone else's pipe. And I say, well, that's usually the case. Mine's pretty burnt up at this point.
Questions. You know, I don't know if it says more about me, but I need to encourage you into treachery and
yes
decisions. But I also find that I want to begin and end every sentence now with John. And not that it matters, but who's Thelma and who's Louise? As you were.
John. I totally understand where he's coming from on both of those feelings. Also, I feel like the Thelma and Louise could be a metaphor of like who wears the pants relationship, but I feel like they were given a take. Like who was hardcore and who was learning the ropes, who got the car and who had the bad driving record. I mean, all the things, John. You can be my wingman any day. Bullshit. You can be mine. All right, Thelma. All right, Louise. Let's find that aircraft carrier and drive off it.
I'm going to say this once, and I'm only going to say this once, because I'm going to say this once. Bloku is my name. Newsletter is my slave name. My bondage name. It's a bondage. But yeah, my name is Bloku. You can only confess me as Bloku.
My bondage name, my slave name, my bondage name. I would just cut the chase of the two, like call it in the middle and say, that's the name my master gave me, and let them take it how they will. Because that could fit either way. Zip, that's the name my master gave me. Zip. What I said was, you shut up and get down on all fours, or it's going to be a rough night for you, mister. Yes, madam.
Yeah, and maybe that's more specific. Who is given? Who is taken?
Well, I believe that the Lord giveth, and I take away all of the purity and joy out of any conversation. So I think it's a give and a take, a push and a pull, an ebb and a flow, a two-sided, as it were. Ain't that right, John? I feel like every conversation needs to start with John, 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 and every sentence needs to start with that, and every sentence needs to end with, ain't that right, John? That's how, wow, I feel like that's going to be my through line when I'm in the asylum, in the padded room. And like, he just keeps saying, John, 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 I'm not insane. Ain't that right, John? Like, who is this John? Oh, he's my partner. We've been doing a show. How long? 2 years. 2 years. You've been in this room for 2 years. 2 years.
I mean, there's this talk of slaves and masters and bondage. I'm just saying that my safe word is two-sided pod. Two-sided pod. I'll never say it.
It's a mouthful. It is definitely a mouthful. Bet you can't eat just one. What? Two-sided podcast.
On that note, let's do a shot and start the show.
What would you do for the two-sided pod? Oh man, I'd climb Mount Everest in a Speedo. What would you do for the two-sided pod? It's that Klondike bar thing. What would Jesus do for the two-sided pod, John?
That's a good question.
That's a bumper sticker we need to make. We take the WWJD, and we also take the Klondike slogan, and we put the two-sided into it. It's not a, come on, no, yeah, we'd have to watch it with the Klondike people, but I think the what would Jesus do is pretty open game. I think Christians are open to us preaching about Jesus. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. Ain't that right, John?
Just that's something. But my point is just yeah, you can call me for call me anything.
Just call me.
Just call.
Just say my name. Say my name. Say my name.
My boy Pete. Cheers to you.
John L. Peacock. Cheers to you, my friend.
Dink.
Let's get pissed.
Well, howdy.
You know, I'd give it a 7.5. It has a good beat, but I can dance to it. And that's why I want you on my team. That's why I hit my button and turned my chair around. Let's do this, John.
I'm John L. Peacock out in Brooklyn, New York.
And I'm my boy Pete in Southern California, rip-raring to go.
And you're listening to Two-Sided, a live recorded podcast where each week I challenge Pete with a bit of the two sides of life, the serious and the fun.
Yeah, the wrong and the right, John, the you and the me, the no and the yes, the flow and the ebb, the pull and the push, the tug and the tow, the little engine that might have done it if he didn't feel so lazy, John. All of these things need to be taken into account.
The yang and the yin.
Exactly. Oh, that's not copywritten. You can take that one.
Before we get into it, hey, quick check-in. How you feeling? Real quick.
Just right.
And that's going to lead us into our first lightning round.
Lightning round! It's time to get down! Come on. Guys, it's so good to be back. How you been this week? Everything good?
Yeah, man, I've been doing good. John, you've been killing it, yeah?
Yeah, can't complain.
Yeah, man, you've been doing it. You have been doing good. I don't know nobody who wears vests to a podcast who isn't doing good. Like that over here, you looking fly, my man.
Yeah, he does look nice, doesn't he? Yeah. Cheers, man. You dressed up. I didn't get the memo.
Yeah. Bullshit, my boy Pete.
Listen, it's cold and rainy here. All right. Global warming.
It ain't warm. It's cold.
All right. Let's not get into it.
Okay.
You can go.
All right. See you.
Hey.
You later, guy.
Hey, don't let him get you down. You carry off a greenish flannel really well.
I'm telling you, with a hoodie underneath.
With a hoodie underneath.
And a non-shaven beard, and I think a hat I probably wore yesterday. I don't know, man. They all blur together.
Well, anybody who's anybody
knows that this is what us alcoholics call a moment of clarity on the Two-Sided Pod. 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. Let's do it, John. Go ahead.
And our first lightning round is always a standard Q&A. My boy Pete, are you ready for the questions?
I'm so ready, John. I'm so ready. Let's do it.
What is currency?
It's something you got to hold, baby. You got to hold your currency. It doesn't have to be a physical thing. It is a weight. It is a way to achieve one's goals. It is a way to barter. It is a way to negotiate. It is a tit for tat. It's an exchange of something for something else, for goods, for services rendered, goods, something that you give something else. And currency could be a physical thing, or you hold currency over someone so you're able to make them do something because you have the power, you have the social currency, you have
you have them in your pocket kind of thing.
Yeah, you got them. Yeah.
So a follow-up for that, anything more you want to add to what is the physical form, since you were talking about that? How do you define that? What is the physical form of currency?
Well, for me, I always go with puka shells. So how many puka shells would I hold in my hands if I had that many monies? And what could I get for these shells?
Did you say
liquor store?
If I had that monies? Because that's awesome. I want that monies.
No, that many monies.
Oh, the many monies. Oh, okay. That many monies.
Yeah. But sir, you go to the liquor store. It's like, I'll take these 2 bottles. He's like, all right, it'll be $49.98. Pukas.
Could I have a couple of small pukas back for change? Thank you.
Yeah, I have some beads and I have some blankets with smallpox on them. Would you like either of those? Oh, too soon? Too close to home, John? You colonizer?
Two-sided. Why do some currencies have the likeness of past or present leaders of that state on them?
Because they want to remember the memory, the founding, the integrity, the institution on which our history is founded. Remembrance of the people past and the shoulders we now stand on, that we too may one day be as honorable and as remembered as these our fellow kinsmen. I say horseshit.
What about the ones who have the current leader of some form?
That's amazing. That's amazing. John, that gives me my next idea. We're going to have two-sided bucks. It's going to be all $2 bills, only redeemable for two-sided merchandise. So basically, it's a gift certificate to the two-sided store, but you can buy $2 bills for $5 each and then redeem them for $2 in currency. John, we made $3 off that sale. John, come on, Thelma. Let's do this.
What does the term dead presidents mean?
Man, that's money. That's green bills. That's stacks. That's the old dead presidents, man. Give me some Franklins.
Franklin's, what's the other term for that one?
Benjamins.
All about the Benjamins, right?
Right? Skrilla. Scratch. Snaps. Man. Money.
Right. The big the pie, the apple, dough. We have so many terms for it, right? Yeah. Dinero.
Greenbacks.
Yeah.
Dinero. Stupid. But I believe we took that one from Mexico, I believe. Isn't it called dinero? So don't
Pesos?
say that's pesos. Nah, that's true. Loonies. We call them loonies sometimes. How many loonies for a case of beer? I do all the time. They're like, what? And then I demand that they know the exchange rate for Canada.
How many loonies and toonies for that twofer?
Yeah. No, I don't have them. I just want to know because I pay in American bills, but I do all my processing in Canadian money, eh? I had a stroke earlier, snowplow accident. Anyway, yeah, I'd like a twofer and a pack of smokes.
Dead President's also a great movie. Yeah, pretty good band.
Great movie. Okay, band. Great movie. Fucking great movie.
Final question. Whose likeness is on America's $10 bill?
That would be was that Alexander Hamilton?
You were trying to sing the song to make you remember?
No, because I was like, no, because it's like, wait, Jackson is on the 20, Lincoln's on the 5, Washington's on the 1, Franklin, for some reason, is on the 100.
Yeah, buddy.
We have on the 50 is fucking what's his name? The weird guy who shouldn't be there because no one ever fucking carries 50s.
Churchill.
Ah, there you go. Yeah, Pee Wee Herman, Paul Rubens, because AKA Pee Wee Herman. It was a very, very one-off printing year at the U.S. Mint. Fort Knox was shocked and appalled when they saw the Pee Wee Herman prints.
All right, that's our lightning round.
That was pretty good, man. That was pretty not fast, but pretty not slow, and kind of on topic. All right.
Yeah.
I feel like we deserve to do a shot and play some messages to celebrate our victories in these little things in life, because I feel like it's all going to go downhill from here.
Oh, most definitely.
Isn't that right,
Let's
John?
plow through these. Oh, yeah.
Giddy up. Here we go.
I really, really did. And it was just all like, what would Jesus do? WWJD. Then you get older, especially when you get to 18. 18 over here, 21 for you losers. Man. The thing is, right, you get to a legal age of drinking alcohol, imbibing, I like using that term, imbibing alcohol. And the thing is, we can then say, what would Jack Daniels do? And that is literally it. What did Jack Daniels do? Drink more Jack Daniels. Yes, yes.
True, but I believe in keeping it religious for all my Mormons out there. Because I'll turn water into wine after a party at any time. Like, I will make a cocktail with what we have in the house. Listen, if we put this kind of lukewarm orange juice in the microwave for 7 minutes and add a little bit of 409, it will turn to alcohol. Trust me, bro. I've made booze out of less.
It's a trip. It's got a funky beat, and I can bug out to it.
Oh, Dub. The way I see it, my friend, we've only just begun to defile ourselves. In that note, John, let's do a shot before someone suggests that we're lacking and slacking on our duties. We're nothing if not prompt. Whoop.
Some weird reason, when you say like the ebb and the flow, the yes and no and all that, you gotta just say the peanut butter and the jelly. And then you say then the peanut butter and the jam, because I'm English, so we don't have to.
Okay. I would say the peanut butter and the ladies. Or I'd say peas and carrots, peanut butter and ladies, ebb and the flow, all the things that go together. You know what I mean? What? What? You never had peas and carrots together? That's crazy.
Technically, we have jelly, but it's called gelato.
What?
I've got to stop pandering to you guys.
No, gelato is an Italian, a non-dairy ice cream that is very delicious and very rich. That's gelato. Also, it's a weed strain in California and in New York, pretty much across the U.S. I'm sure it is over there too. It's delicious, delightful, a good head changer. It's good for anxiety, stress, pain. It'll help you relax on the couch and on the Two-Sided podcast on Thursdays.
Literally hate how they call it De Niro. It's like, why don't you call it Pacino? Why don't you call it Keitel? Why don't you call it Scorsese? It's a load of shit. What the fuck?
You know what though? Okay. I would like at that point. It's like, you know what? I think that's a good idea. I think I might start calling them Scorseses. Hey man, give me 2 Scorseses for that. In my pocket now. What do you mean? Come on, man. You know what I mean? And then and I thought about because when you Swayze someone, you ghost them. Like, I pulled a Swayze. Like, oh, okay. You pulled a Scorsese. What, you owed them money or they owed you money? I don't understand. It's a whole history thing. You'd have to be there.
Did you just say slacking on your duties? And because you're American and I'm funny, you said duties.
My grandma always told me to stick with the dick and fart jokes. And I said, it's my duty to oblige.
Gelatin. I meant gelatin. I've been just listening to it back. I meant gelatin. My bad.
Okay, that makes more sense. But also, that's gross because gelatin is something it's Jello, and we use gelatin to set things. But Jello is usually at church events. You have like fruit stuffed in the middle of the Jello, like pineapples and bananas that is set in there. It looks amazing. I don't know.
It looks great.
Scientific miracles.
It looks great.
It's like the Great American Bake Off with horrible gelatin stacks.
That is okay. A couple of things. Number one, as much as I like love and respect Patrick Swayze, but he's dead. So therefore, if someone got Swayze, it's like, does that kind of sound a bit ominous? I don't know. That's number one. But then number two, could you say that you Swayze'd them because they didn't give you the Scorsese? And then it's like company rhyming slang, and it's like, no, it's just some kind of random meaning for they didn't give me money, so I killed them.
Yeah. In my understanding, that's exactly how Cockney rhyming slang works. It's things that mean things that have rhymes that mean nothing.
Right.
But these actually do if we make them but we're being too literal. It's like too on the nose to rhyme the thing with the thing. Cockney has nothing to do with the the actual definition you're talking about most of the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, no, it does, but not all of it. All right, John. All right.
Well, quick check-in with the YouTube channel for those listening live. You can check us out on YouTube. Our link is
YouTube
glitching.
Live.
Yeah. But Two-Sided Pod at Two-Sided Pod is our handle, and the title of our show is Two-Sided Podcast. Yes.
Okay. Well, I don't know why, but I'm more apt to believe Julie Prunes in situations like this, and she says that our handle is Two-Sided Podcast.
No, our handle is at Two-Sided Pod. The title of our channel is Two-Sided Podcast.
Okay, I'm with you on that. You know what?
I uniformed it. It's all Two-Sided Pod will get it.
No. Your naming conventions are wrong. You shouldn't name things. It's like saying, "What's your username?" Well, it's the same as my email plus one letter. Like that's not a fucking username.
In the middle of the email.
What are you doing? What are you doing, bro? I hate that shit. And now what you're doing is like, oh, it's Two-Sided Pod. No, it's Two-Sided Podcast. I know you're saying all roads lead to this, but they don't. They don't. Because you're like, man, I can't find shit. I'm just saying, if you don't have the link, click on the what's happening live now and scroll through till you see these goddamn.
Shouldn't take long at all. I'm sure we're really high up there. But Spondy and Julie, thanks for watching us live and having some wonderful things. Yeah, wonderful
Julie.
Comments. Love you,
bro. Yeah. Yep.
So we're going to talk about the $10 bill.
Well, I'll give you change for 5 2s if you give me a 10.
5 2s or 2 5? 5 2s. Yeah, okay. I'm dyslexic. Okay, it took me a little bit. Yep.
Yeah. I feel like
you got me. You got me.
Alrighty. Damn it! 2 5s, 5 2s. Sorry. That's been under my craw for a hot minute. I actively want to know what was on your phone. I brought that up to 2 people today. I was like, what the fuck, bro? What the fuck? Sorry. That's a callback from our Tuesday show. You can look at our fans only page on Instagram. You follow Julie Prunes. It's links there, but also the great clips of where John goes off on tangents about words he doesn't understand. He doesn't give any context on why those words are in his brain so aggressively and won't come out, even though we try to beat him with a hammer. They just don't fall out. Anyway, John, $10 bill. If I had a nickel for every time I talked about a $10 bill, that would about 17 cents about now.
In 1690, paper currency in the United States was born, issued by the Massachusetts Bay Colony to fund military expeditions. Other colonies quickly take up the practice of issuing paper notes. In 1739, Benjamin Franklin takes on counterfeiting, using his Philadelphia printing firm to produce colonial notes with natural prints, unique raised patterns cast from actual leaves. This process adds an innovative and effective counterfeit deterrent to the notes.
Boo! Man, we're all trying to make a buck out here, Benny Franks. Why you gotta bring your printing press and oppress my people? Boo! All right, continue. 1739 was a bad year for us. Luckily, we moved on. Let's see what happens next.
The Revolutionary War was ramping up to inevitability. The phrase "not worth a continental" is coined after the Continental Congress issues paper currency to finance the Revolutionary War. Currency that quickly loses its value because of lack of solid backing and the rise of counterfeiting. They didn't follow Benjamin's anti-counterfeiting with their printing, because Congress,
Well, we could do it for 2 pence less. Like, what's a pence? It's almost less than $1. What's $1? I don't even know, man. Sign the paper. Let's get to printing. We can figure this out in post. How do you have an argument and a discussion about legislating money when there is no money? think about that. Like the idea of like, all right, what are things worth? What do you? Because when you say, you look at currency across the world, and like, oh, the pound is the American dollar, the loonie, whatever, the yen, the drachma, it's all to this. Here's the exchange rate. Okay, cool. We have a basis, we have a scale now. Like there's something to go off of. But the first people who sat around like, yeah, you know what? I'd buy that for $1. What's $1? Bully. Good answer. Bully. What's $1? Let us discuss. How does that start? And who's the first person who's like, you know what? And at that point, because of inflation, like, all right, here's the deal. A horse is $5. That's super expensive. All right, cool. And how do they like? Yeah, $5. What? How do they agree on that? And like, all right, a night in a hotel in a bath is 5 cents. Like, what? How do they come up with? What does that mean? What does that mean?
Right. I could see a movie, get a hot dog, popcorn, and a soda, all for $0.05.
Right, but it's like, okay, what happened before then? Because they were using, you're talking currency, we're talking American currency, because there was currency before they came across and ran for religious freedom and came to the Americas and founded this country. Number one, right?
Thanks, Puritans. Right.
No one was here first, Pilgrims. Well, I put a burr under my saddle, Pilgrim.
Well, paper currency was like a new thing. Like America was at the cutting edge of paper currency.
They didn't have paper currency previously in.
No, they didn't have a printing press. No,
Oh, that's right. The whole. Okay. Hello, Industrial Revolution. Okay. Oh wait, it's not. It's not industrial. It's the. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's the industrial because it's with the cotton gin, right?
Wasn't that the 1800s? Printing press was 1600s, or 15, 16. Yeah.
Wrong revolution. They said the revolution will not be televised, and apparently I didn't listen in school either, or to MTV. I'm going to figure this out. I will tell you. I will make a joke about all the revolutions later on, but I'm listening.
Well, yeah, you look that up because I actually have a fun side note. The first $2 bill notes are continentals and are 9 days older than America. So they came out pretty quickly. On June 25th, 1776, the Continental Congress authorizes issuance of the $2 denominations in bills of credit for the defense of America. We even adopted what we now know as the dollar sign from Spanish pesos sign for our new currency, no longer attached to the English pound. So, doesn't really have much to do with anything to do with the 10, except for the $2 bill is older than the 10. And because, back then 10 would be like, holy crap, why do you have $10? That's, what are you, Rockefeller? Before Rockefeller was around?
I'm buying a whole herd of cattle and a homestead.
10.
A wife. And also supper for everyone in town.
And I'm going to need some change.
Also.
So all of this.
Wait, hold on, man. Like, you said the printing press is the 16th. No, I knew Gutenberg did the printing press earlier than that, and that was in 1400s.
1400.
So now you're trying to tell me printing press was 1600s, folks. All the notes you've been taking in notebooks.
Caught me. Crap.
You got to scribble them out because John said Ben Franklin came and invented the printing press. Do you guys understand? I just caught John the hugest lie, and that all of his facts. Things he's just making this shit up. He has no facts about it. He's like, yeah. So first time they started using money, Ben Franklin was like, oh, look at this. The Congress was like, nah. So they're like, defund the Ben Franklin. Defund him? Yeah, like defrock him,
It's a mix between defrock and defrund.
Yeah, it was a big thing back then because I don't know if you knew, but Ben Franklin had actually started the first social network. He had a face board. It was a board where you came and put pictures and drew people's faces of your friends. Very social, very cutting edge.
It went viral when he moved the board to a kite. So you put the faces on the kite.
Saying, man, and that was the term. Man, look at that motherfucking kite over there. Comes from.
So all this early American currency culminates in 1791 when Alexander Hamilton establishes the Bank of the United States to create a system of credit for the government. The bank is the first of several in the country to issue private currencies, facilitating borrowing and lending. The following year, so he just standardized it. He federalizes it, right?
Yeah, he federalizes it. It's a good thing. I get it, but at the same time, like, just because I get it, man. I've seen a lot of like dystopian movies and TV shows. I've seen where civilization falls and people need to come together. And how are we going to make it forward? You know, we're all going to be free. And like somehow at some point, some sort of a hierarchy, a system of government of some sort ultimately finds its way into the system.
Sure.
In some way, shape, or form, because people need there needs to be a hierarchy.
They need it
to exist.
Yeah.
It's all animals need it. Like it has to happen. And if you say you don't, you're one of those miscreants who, yeah, for sure, you live off by yourself and your thing. Like, cool, you come into town, but you don't have. Everyone's like, oh, that guy.
Right.
And it's so fucking weird. Because as much as fuck that, I say no, but 100%.
Yeah.
What will it take, John, for us to make the two-sided bucks a real thing? That we just like, all right, folks, here's what's going to happen. And we just start proclaiming it loud enough. And all of a sudden, like, we're on the stock. All right. The American dollar to the two-sided buck is 4-1 right now. $4 to one two-sided buck.
Well, if we have our own town that's insular, then it's very easy to create that. Like the old mining towns that they would pay the miners in their bucks that are only usable in their towns.
Yeah, like Chuck E. Cheese tokens, John.
Yes.
I've been locked up for 2 years previous to this. I was my own town. I had a tanning booth. I had a place for tanning hides of deer that I had caught in the back of my house. I mean, the laundry room. But yeah, I didn't leave the house, but I hunted. I don't know what that means.
So the following year, Congress establishes the coinage system of the United States by passing the Mint Act. The U.S. adopts the decimal system for currency. So the first $10 bill note was not actually introduced until 1861. That's a while later, right? It's one of the newest notes that we have in our currency.
It's one of my favorite notes.
Which note is it?
It's a C minor.
Oh, it's a chord?
If you strum it correctly, it does. It hums. You hit that fifth, baby.
Overtones, baby. The first $10 denomination of paper money issued by the U.S. government featured President Abraham Lincoln. So this is 1861, right? So who was struggling to keep the Union together.
Wait. So Abe Lincoln was on the 10 in 1861?
Yeah. As he was president.
Hold up. $10 bill. Dude, I don't believe in collecting weird memorabilia and like historical shit. Civil War people, like who like
the reenactment
shit. No, reenactments, man. If someone said like, "Hey, dude, you want to come to a reenactment?" I'm like, all right. I would show up if someone just called me. I would show up hammered and like, what am I putting on? And do I get a cannon?
Yeah. It's live theater. I mean, that's fun. Yeah, we all love that.
It's so good, bro. 100%. But people who collect too much, like the ones who are super collectors, there's always a little something. I don't want to sit down and have a cocktail with you for like long periods of time. Like I have this much. I'll look around your museum of horrors.
Yeah.
I'll bid you a good day, and I'll see you at the board meeting.
Yeah.
Other than that, man.
And if they really trust you, they show you the secret stuff that, you know, they don't really like, the hoods and the symbols and the, you know.
I don't know where you're going with this, but I'm just saying, if I knew someone who had an 1861 Abraham Lincoln $10 bill, bro, I'd travel to a different state to see that. That's a promise. Am I going to start going to weird currency shows, coin collecting shows? I mean, I'm not interested into it, but if you got that 1861 Abe Lincoln, man, I'll show you my titties. Did this just get weird on a weird coin circuit level? I don't know,
Did
man.
this just turn strange?
Hey, man, we're at a fucking coin show. Everything's strange around here. Even the churros don't have cinnamon.
So at that point, 11 southern states had seceded. So these were demand notes featuring the president's portrait with fine line engraving and intricate geometric lathe patterns for anti-counterfeiting, right? Each demand note was immediately redeemable in gold or silver upon demand at 7 specific banks around the nation, obviously all in the North. The Treasury issued demand notes in 1861 and 1862.
Damn. I am going to go to coin shows. I want an Abe Lincoln $10 bill, and I want a demand note. I would also like some gold if I could redeem that at one of the banks in the North, if that's still a thing. I believe FDIC said this is worth my weight in gold.
They would give you $10 worth of gold, and then they would sell that for a couple $1 million.
Bro, I know, crazy. Okay, so let me just. This is the only time I'm going to put it in because we're talking about gold and the currency because backed in gold, and you could. I remember a time vividly when I first came back to California from Arizona in 2002.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, I've been here a long time. That fucking weed was more expensive than gold. You could buy an ounce of gold cheaper than you could buy an ounce of weed in California.
Holy crap.
Because an ounce of weed at that time was going for $4.50, and you can get an ounce of gold for $3.95, or like $4.20, like $4.20, $4.15. Like you couldn't get it under $400.
Right.
But gold was like pushing $3.80, $3.90 all the time because my buddy was like, "That's expensive, cheaper than gold." He would tell you, "God damn, well, sell me a bar of gold then. I feel like I could do more with that. At least my parents would be proud of me." Shit.
Dude,
Anyway.
if you had bulk at that point, you're like, hey, Federal Reserve, I'm gonna trade this many ounces for that many ounces of gold, and you're making out. This is worth more.
Right, you don't even know, but you're either gonna have to smoke it or move it quick or keep it zipped because with this kind of weight, you're gonna lose. Anyway, I digress. You guys are the professionals. Thanks, FDIC. I'll be out with my gold bars. And John, that's how he could have got rich in 2003.
Crap. Although the federal government issued the money, the notes were printed by the private American Bank Note Company of New York. Their acceptance varied from bank to bank. The $10 bill eventually gained wider acceptance, as did paper currency as a whole, throughout the 19th century and into the early 20th century, with private banks printing their own banknotes under the auspices of the U.S. Department of Treasury. The faces gracing the $10 note during this period included New England politician Daniel Webster and famed explorers Meriwether Lewis and William Clark.
Fuck Meriwether. Lewis was the bitch out of the two. I know that for a fact. I've read the journals. Anyone named Meriwether whined a lot, drank all the water, and didn't like hills.
Uh-huh.
Clark was like, bro,
Come
on.
Come on.
I'm not gonna carry you anymore. I'm only gonna carry you on the flat parts. Oh, but my moccasins are so tight.
What's about to piggyback, please?
That is how Meriwether talks. It's actually in the Smithsonian. You look it up. True story. Natural History Museum. And that is something you should look up. The more you know.
But it wasn't until the federal government asserted its complete dominance over the country's currency with the Federal Reserve Act of 1913 that the country would begin seeing currency similar to today's greenbacks. 1914, the first of the newly minted $10 bills started circulating, featuring the portrait of Andrew Jackson.
Andrew Jackson. Wait.
So he enthusiastically oversaw the dissolution of the Second Bank of America of the United States. This president who did that, they're like, yeah, let's give him that one.
Son of a bitch. Okay. Yeah, okay. Okay. All right, well, if I knew this was going to be this show, I would have had more money here. But I don't have more bills to look at.
These $10, these specific ones, have the purchasing power of around $256 in today's money.
See, but that's bullshit. That's, again, because it means nothing. It's not. Is it backed? Like, it's a $10, but is it?
That's the thing. That is backed, but it's only for $256. These things will go for hundreds of thousands because they're the collectors do that. So they're not collectors aren't like, I will give you $256 for that $10 bill. Thank you. No, they're going to pay so much more. That's just the purchasing power. If you're like, hey, these are still in circulation, boom.
Let's try to do that for everything that comes to auction. Let's do $256 and try, because maybe they'll respect our fucking capitalism. Mm-hmm. Hey man, I'm not going to spend more than it's worth. I'm going to cash it in. This needs to get out of currency because it's ruining society. I'm here to help with that. And then we turn around and sell it for $10 billion. John, that's when we get matching fucking luxury warm-up suits, velour.
Yes, bright. Okay, compromise.
You want bright. I want maroon. I say something classy but off-putting. Like, who has maroon?
I was thinking burgundy.
I'll go burgundy. I'll go a nice blush, a wine. Sort of a red wine. That way, if you spill wine, no harm, no foul, right?
Right.
Also, if you're drinking wine, you have to be successful because you're wearing a leisure suit out somewhere. So, hold on. Is it leisure suit or tracksuit? What are we gonna do? I say it should be velour if it's tracksuit.
Right.
There should be sharp, like 5-inch lapels if it's a leisure suit.
Well, obviously.
I say burgundy for a leisure suit. Like a nice red wine. Anyway, we'll work this out in post.
Right. So, since that 1861, the Legal Tender Act, which also created the $10 bill, Alexander Hamilton has been part of currency because that's when the Treasury Department was the authority to decide who and what gets to be on the national currency. He was first on the 5, then the 2, the 20, the 50, the 500, and the 1,000.
The more you talk, the less confidence I have in the financial system of the United States. I feel like it's those times when you see that like folded up $20 bill on the sidewalk, and you're like, oh shit! And you pick it up and you unfold it, and it's not a full bill. It's just like a small piece of paper. You open it up and it says, "Disappointed? Try Jesus." And here's this whole like thing, and it's like Bible verses and a website and a thing. They're all over down here. Like, disappointed. Like, man, I don't even look at 20s anymore on the ground. Like, I don't want to be a bitch. I'll kick them. I'll like scuff them up. Like, that ain't shit. And that way I'm saving other people. I feel like I'm doing missionaries work. I'm doing the Lord's work.
You are.
Especially if you have a bad back.
Yeah.
Walking the streets of LA. Come on, bro.
Stooping for that?
Down that often? Come
on. No.
Come on. You might as well join Scientology. That'll get you farther. At least they have medical.
So the final major currency redesign that gave American paper currency the standard size that we know today was in 1928, and that's when Hamilton was put on the 10 and has been there since.
Size. Bullshit. Standard size. It was done by a bunch of white men in government. No, that's standard size. It's fine. It's fine. You go to foreign countries and their bills are bigger, larger. Like you have to have a European wallet to make it fit.
Yeah.
Because no, that's absurdly large. No one needs that. It makes no sense, honey. Look me in the eyes. It makes no sense. This is standard.
Well, honey, I can't look you in the eyes because I'm blind, and it makes sense to me because the bigger bills are the bigger denominations, so I can tell them apart, and no one can swindle me.
Right? Honey, America's built on bilking blind people like you. I mean, not specifically blind, but blind to what we're doing. Emotionally, spiritually, financially blind. Also, physically. You don't even know where I am, do you? Oh, you silly, silly girl.
Let's just say we prey on vulnerability. So Alexander Hamilton is the only person.
But at least we pray, John. At least we pray. Can we all take a knee? I'm going to do an altar call. I'd like to thank the Lord and Savior. We're here to pray for and on our neighbors. I know you're hurting. I know you're open and empty. I know you're stupid as a bag of rocks. But come unto me, all ye who are stupid as shit, and I will rob ye. My boy Pete, 1616.
Right. The family that preys on vulnerability together stays financed by vulnerability together.
Exactly. Thanks, democratic system of the United States of America, since fucking 1913 when we standardized all this bullshit.
So Alexander Hamilton's the only person featured on U.S. currency who was not born in the continental U.S. He was born in the West Indies. He's also one of the only individuals.
Well, I want to see his birth certificate, John. He ain't from around how. Hey, how'd he get on that bill? You ain't had no birth certificate, John. I got questions. It's my right.
I'm only asking questions. Jeez. So he's one of the few on our notes who was never president, along with
Ben Franklin.
Our boy Ben Franklin, though he definitely made history as the man who designed our country's financial system. So it makes sense, right?
They're actually looking at doing Susan B. Anthony now and Bernie Madoff, because one person who broke social boundaries and one person who broke our financial system. It's going to be great, John.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
I believe in progress and change.
So that 1928 final redesign, that's when they said the Presidential Commission recommended that only faces of former presidents should appear on the money, since they are more familiar to the public than former cabinet members or generals.
Boo.
Exceptions were made, for Franklin Hamilton and Civil War era Treasury Secretary Salmon P. Chase. And he was on the $10,000 note.
Well, if you know how far that salmon swam upstream, you know he deserves to be on that note, buddy. But that's a salmon for a different catch of the two sides.
That's right.
That's gonna be our show about our favorite salmons. Him, Salmon Rushdie. That's about it. And also,
that's about it.
A lot of fishing jokes. It's gonna be great. You guys tune in. It's a special episode. We're gonna do it for the troops.
We'll be smoked. It'll be lost. Right.
Yeah. Nope, not going there. Nope. Fair enough. Let's get out of this one unscathed. You go.
So here's a fun one. The $10 bill's portrait of Hamilton is the only one to face to the left.
What?
Yeah. So he was never one to conform, having established the Federalist Party in opposition to the Democratic Republican Party.
Shut your goddamn mouth. You're right. Motherfucker. All right. Well, Lincoln, in his new bill, he's like, hey, Lincoln. He's not looking. Hamilton's true like, brr.
Yeah. Who what now?
Oh, wow. Look it up. Hey, John, this isn't a rap video. Ain't no such thing as halfway podcasters. Don't be a bitch.
So
look at all these stacks of ones I got. I got $14 in this bitch.
Make it a trinkle. Make it a trinkle.
I'm gonna need more of that back because I gotta feed the meter later, so I'm gonna need those ones back. Thanks.
Also, the $10 U.S. note has the shortest average lifespan of U.S. currency, as little as 4.5 years.
Okay, I'm interested. I'm interested to see why, because I have ideas, I have thoughts, and I'm guessing you're not going to tell me that you did the research or that I'm correct or incorrect, but why are they less?
I want to hear your thoughts. I have a couple thoughts. They did not say, but what they did say before we go with our thoughts, they correlated it is, ironically, Alexander Hamilton had the shortest lifespan of all individuals to decorate the currency. Every individual on any currency that we've had, he is the one who died the youngest, 47 years.
Oh, that's great. Oh yeah. Oh my God. His Jupiter was aligned with Pluto. His stars predicted his
right. They're just saying it's a coincidence, but yeah,
they're an idiot.
They're not saying it's a reason at all.
No, they are an idiot.
They are an idiot.
They are an idiot, John.
So what are your thoughts? Also, why the 10?
Well, first, my thought is going to be that's going to be on one of the backs of our shirts. Of they are an idiot. Two-sided pod. They are an idiot. I think it's hilarious on a lot of levels. We call that a multiple entendre. John, you're grammatically welcome. I think that $1 are more widely available, so they'll get stuck in drawers, they'll be stuck in cabinets, they'll be put in you'll forget about them. They're not used as much,
right?
And they're always around. They're always a little dirty, so no one trusts them 100%.
Right.
A lot of people don't have 20s. I am saying the $10 bill is a good go-to for people doing drugs. 20s, yes, but if you're doing
a makeshift straw of some sort,
yeah, and you're moving it here and there, here's the change you're getting, here's the denominations you're moving in, and you're using it in a makeshift straw of some sort, so you're having a lot more wear and tear, you're having a lot more exchange of hands. people are writing on it.
Mm-hmm.
People are like ripping it. You can get the rest of this $10 bill when you get your job done. Okie dokie. I don't know where you grew up, but it's a lot of money where I come from. I'm just saying it makes a lot of sense. I would say 10s or 20s. But 20s, like you don't see like the people who, you see 20s for people who have a hand like, oh, cool. I just went to the bank and I got 20s. You do not see 20s from people who don't go to banks.
Right. Yeah, I should have checked what the second shortest lifespan of a bill. I bet it's a 20.
Because I'd say a 1 or a 20. I'd say 20. I don't know, man. Because the thing is, like, you look at. I feel like it's everything in money, cash money, is somehow illicitly involved. Like the majority of it, like your internet bandwidth, was taken from. Now it's streaming movies and streaming content, but everything was driven. If you look at the history, it was driven by illicit means. It was driven by porn. So you had the only reason VHS and Beta came out, porn. The only reason that
it was funded by it too. Yeah,
totally funded. When they had the are you gonna do an HD DVD? They had DVDs come out. Great. You could do Blu-ray or HD DVD, and they had that big push. And there was Xbox was doing this, PlayStation was doing this. There was Sony was here, Toshiba was here. Like you really had these split markets. It was all funded. The only videos you can get, other than a couple studio movies, was porn. There's all porn. So when we're testing shit, it's like that's all we're getting is porn. Jesus Christ, this is all porn. All right, well, I got to do my work. I'd be amiss if I didn't.
Yeah, it's my job.
It's my goddamn job. I don't know, man. I feel like now we're looking at just specific cash money. Now that everything we do in life is so digital, like you don't have to. You touch a card. You hold your phone up. You don't have to touch anything to do money. If you're on the grid, you don't have to do shit cash wise. The only reason I hold cash now, because if you're buying from something from a street vendor, you're buying from the street.
Mm-hmm. Which is a street vendor, really.
Right. I like to tip in cash for bars or
same.
Or
that's another reason why I keep as well. Yeah.
I'll pay, but that shit, man.
Or it's because I got the tips in cash. Yeah.
You hold 10s. You hold 10s because like I'm gonna give you 10, 20, or 30.
Yeah.
You figure out how good you are.
So speaking of that, a sawbuck is a slang term historically referring to the $10 bill.
Oh, did you know a grande is a large coffee at Starbucks?
Is it 10 ounce? No. What's the correlation?
20.
Got it. Because two ornate Roman numeral X's, resembling sawbucks, were present on the first US $10 bill during the Civil War.
Say that one more time. You're saying Starbucks?
No, sawbuck. So two X's were on the back of the first $10 bill.
Okay, two X's, and you keep saying two X's means sawbuck. Is that what I'm hearing from you?
Yes, that's the slang term for the 10.
Okay. So it's okay. So a slang term from 10 is a sawbuck.
Because what is it? Because yes, because the X's resembled when they used the saw, it would create this X pattern on the wood that they were sawing, and so it resembled that, and so they're like, "Hey, that's a sawbuck."
All right. All right, I'm gonna let that one slide. I don't feel like it's fully answered for my notes and all the people out there who are listening, taking notes, who woke up at goddamn 4 a.m. Greenwich Mean Sandwich time. But John, I'm gonna let this one go. But I'm gonna say, I don't think you've ever sawed a piece of wood if you think it causes a pattern of bucking. Like I don't know how you saw, but it's incorrect if that's what you see.
But you missed.
Other people say, go ahead.
You missed the thing. There are two of them on the back of the $10 bill. So isn't that 20
So,
if it's Roman numeral X?
okay, yes, we're talking XX. That's 20.
Yeah.
I'm still focused on how you're sawing a piece of wood.
I'm sawing it well.
No, you're doing it poorly if you have 2 marks on sawing a piece of wood. You make one line and you go through till that motherfucker is cut in half, John. I don't know where you came from, but your sister, who is a goddamn contractor, would be shocked and appalled by what you've just said. I'm looking up sawbuck and what it means, and I'm going to prove you wrong again.
Well, it's the X of the blade of the saw.
What kind of a saw has an X blade? I know X Games.
The edge, like we'd call it serrated on knives, but it's saws aren't like just a cleaver. It's which, if you look at it, it kind of looks like an X.
No, it looks like a pyramid, which reminds me of the triangle scheme that I wanted to get you involved in. See, John, that was a callback from 4 shows ago. That is a moment of clarity.
I don't got much more. It's we're now in the 21st century. 2015, Secretary of Treasury Jacob Lew announced that he planned to request the redesign of the 10 note to feature a historic American woman in the place of Alexander Hamilton, as well to update the security features of that denomination.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I say yes, yes, yes. Sign me up. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And after his announcement, the Treasury received a lot of feedback. Some from fans of Hamilton who advocated for keeping the musical, for keeping Hamilton on the note. After collecting a lot of public input, Lew announced Hamilton would keep his place on the 10 and maintain a strong presence in our national currency, and the Treasury would pursue other plans for adding a woman to our paper money. So, Hamilton's saved for now. But why do we care so much about preserving his memory? That answer is partly symbolic.
Go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish, John. I know you have this written down. This is a whole thing. And I'm not going to stop your flow. I have a shot poured and a tirade locked and loaded. So you plow through, and then I'm going to hammer down. Ready?
Great.
Let's do it.
So, having Hamilton staring back at us for the $10 bill from the $10 bill is a reminder of the outsized role that he had in designing the country's financial system. Behind that symbolism is substance. It was no accident that so many of Hamilton's most vocal supporters took to the pages of the Wall Street Journal and CNBC to speak in his defense. For people who work in the financial and banking sectors, particularly in New York, Hamilton's legacy is part of daily life. The bank that he created, the Bank of New York, which he designed and founded in 1784, still exists today as BNY Mellon. It was one of the first stocks to be traded amongst a group of stockbrokers who formed the formal association of the New York Stock Exchange. Listen, I got more, but I realized, like, you know what? Just look it up.
No, but I know you have more. Are you done, John? I told you I'd let you go. I Kanye'd your ass. I said, I'm going to let you finish. I'm going to let you finish. And I did let you finish. And you took a deep breath and said, I have more, which means you're done, John. If you didn't feel like you were done, you wouldn't have taken a breath. And God bless you, you did. John? John. Holy shit. Of course, those sons of bitches don't want have some very strongly worded letters to write to Jacob Lew in opposition of taking Alexander Hamilton off. Not because they did get front row seats. Thanks, Lin-Manuel. You fucked us all on that. Man. But it was from the Wall Street Journal. It was from the at this point, what are you doing? What is whenever you are stopping the progression of thought of any progress of you're in the way of history bettering itself, you are the stalwart, you are the none shall pass. Tell me one time, other than the guy in Tiananmen Square who stood in front of the tank, that it worked out well.
I was going to go Gandhi and Mandela, but there's so many problems with those countries now. So,
right. I just, but the idea of the, no, you can do that. You can say Rosa Parks. You can say the people who are, I'm just doing the sit-in. I'm just doing this. And then but when you're doing something that has truly no effect on you at that point, like, if it affects people's day-to-day lives, if it affects how you are treating a human being today, my brother, my neighbor, my friend, I have a problem with that. If it's a piece of paper that could easily be interpreted as very disingenuous person who is duplicitous, who should not be praised, because all we're seeing from Lin-Manuel is the greatest hits, which is great, John, which is great.
Yeah.
You know, we have to stand on the shoulders of people. Yeah. But fucking people are fallible. They're human, right? If you don't understand that and take that into account, and like you get up in arms, why shouldn't Susan B. Anthony be here? Why shouldn't Sojourner Truth be on a bill? Why shouldn't these are people who, yes, he built our financial institution, but how has that been going for the majority of Americans, right? How has that worked for us in the big fallouts, in the bank bailouts, in everything that's happened in the last 25 years? Well, shit, go back 60 years. You can we're clocking through them a lot more quick these days. We'd like to space them out back then.
Yeah.
But bro, I'm just saying, why are we celebrating? Why are we holding on to? Why are we commemorating such a not a failure? But yeah, you did it. That's great.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. But who else changed this country? Who else, if we're going to say only people, first presidents, except for these two exceptions, so it's not just presidents, so then fuck off.
Three, right? Yeah, that other guy, the $10,000 bill guy.
Right. Well, no one has change, so I can't spend that anywhere. What are you gonna do? 3 a.m. your local Circle K. Yeah, I got 2 Hot Pockets and a Slurpee. Get change for 10,000. Mainly 5s, please. I don't want any 10s. Fuck Hamilton.
And then John Adams.
Then you spend the next 4 hours giving a tirade about the fucking history of politics. Like, you will definitely be arrested. Definitely.
John Adams and Aaron Burr have never appeared on any denomination. And final little side note. While the United States refused a woman on their sawbuck in 2015, Canada moved forward to change up their $10 bill note 1 year later. It was on International Women's Day back in 2016 when the Bank of Canada first announced their plans to feature an iconic Canadian woman on the $10 bill. Canadians were encouraged to submit nominations, and the goal through that public consultation process was to spark a national conversation about the impact and contributions of women in Canadian history. As a result, an impressive 26,000 submissions were received, and 461 women became eligible nominees. The list was narrowed to 12, and then, with the guidance of the historical experts and the results from a public opinion survey, the Bank of Canada selected Viola Desmond from the shortlist of the top 5 nominees, and she's now there.
All right. All right. Well, I mean, the pound right now has Elizabeth II, and I feel like they're way ahead of us because that's a female who's run shit. But they're regressing because now they're supposed to be having Charles come out on the new notes that are going to be circulated in 2024.
Yeah, they're all about the current one.
I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like why don't you just shoot for the middle and get currency with the corgis on them?
And because
corgi bucks.
Because of how they do it, and they're going with the royalty, the system's so old, having a queen is kind of a fluke. So we're probably they'll probably not have another one as long as they continue having kings and queens on their currency. So that's it.
You know what? I don't know, man. I don't know because I've been watching a lot of Game of Thrones, and I feel like we could go through that again. I watched the Oprah interview with Harry and that chick from Suits.
That's right.
And I'm pretty sure they'll push someone out a window. I'm pretty sure. Push comes to shove out a window.
So yeah, that's a 10. That's what I put in the series.
Hey, that's a 10. Hey, buddy. 10 if you do, 16 if you don't. Let's pop some goddamn bubbles and do a shot. Everybody, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, thank you so much for tuning in. We are the Two-Sided Pod. We are here every Tuesday, Thursday, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. We are live on YouTube on Thursdays, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. Our handle is Two-Sided Pod. Our show is called Two-Sided Podcast. If you get confused by either of those like I do, I just recommend clicking on the live, finding our beautiful faces, subscribe, hitting that alert, smashing that like button. Folks, let's do a shot. Hit these buttons. Cheers to you, baby.
Cheers.
Pink, pink, pink.
Pink.
Oh my God.
What are we doing with our lives, man?
Nobody cares about $10 union, whatever the heck y'all talking about.
Everybody cares. I like Steve Gutenberg. I just want to know.
All right, I'm with you. The Goot. 100%. Show me a Police Academy movie without him in it, and I will show you something I don't like.
Let's see here. Steve Gutenberg did the printing press.
Right. The Goot.
I was gonna say that seriously. Kite just sounds a bit too close. No one mentions kites anymore for a reason. That's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna review this motherfucker like a motherfucking kite.
Exactly. Yeah, interesting fact. The dude that helped build Apple, what's his name? Steve Wozniak?
Yep, Wozniak.
That's his own money. He's been doing it for years. And guess what? It's actually legal because he followed all the guidelines. Been doing it for years. Just go print his own money and sell copies of the prints. Yeah, so let me see, like $5. You pay him $5 for $40. I think that's the way it goes. But yeah, it's some wild shit.
The old Waz. Taking it to him. Waz, man.
Yo, what's good, bro? What's good?
Good, Gio. How you doing, man?
Yo, how does this work, bro? I'm trying to work it out, man.
I know it's a whole thing. Trust me, bro. It took me a year and a half to figure out this fucking pattern. Thursdays is a rough job for anyone. You got to get your notepad. You got to get your paper and pencil. You got to get your two-sided go bag, which consists of shots, small vials of MDMA, pre-rolled blunts, half pack of cigarettes, 2 little vapes if you stop smoking, which some of us have, and some of us are very proud of it. Not at all. Not at all, man. Man, if someone could send me menthol cigarettes on the regular, like 2 packs a week, I'd start smoking again. I don't give a shit. All right, that's too deep in the system. Shh.
The only one that when at church and they say, I know you're hurting, I want to stand up, hold my hands up in the air and say, whoever's woman. Yes.
Shut the fuck up.
Rice, baby.
Shut up, bitch. You sound like
Dexter can't believe it.
I am enthralled with the whole Hamilton on the $10 bill thing, John. But while I'm watching you on the YouTubes, which everybody who's watching on the YouTubes better hit that thumb, man. It better be the thumb up, motherfucker. Anyway, I think you just need some blue blockers. I think they might give you a rock star feel, but I think they'll help you with seeing too, because I can see you affected by the glare because I'm watching you. I can see you, motherfucker. Yeah, man, blue blockers for the win. For the win, and it'll probably help you sleep better tonight.
Yeah, that's true. Also, I was looking at your facial expressions, and I feel like you should eat more fiber, so you take healthier shit. Because you look look at that face, your eyes, your constipation. Between me and Matt Fox, man, we're gonna get you. We're gonna fix you, bro. Would you time to fix you?
Yeah, Queen Elizabeth II is on current banknotes, shortly to be replaced by old King Sausage Fingers himself. But we also have other people on the banknote. So by Winston Churchill.
Yes. What?
Painter, and on the 20, Alan Turing on the £50 note. I didn't know if you knew that.
Sure.
Bloku has beat me to it.
No, I didn't. Here's the deal. I feel like I don't know, man. I gotta feel like UK is I gotta get one over a little bit more, because right now I feel like Canada. I know it's not here. I know we don't win. I know that for sure. And I'm crossing borders during the nuclear siege. It has to either be north or south. South is easier, better food. But I feel like better culture is over there, John. Pick it up.
Did my boy Pete just go, you need to get your notepad, your paper, and your pencil? So in other words, you got to get your paper, and your pencil. You say paper, do you mean like one? Are we you somewhat advocating drug use? I'm just saying, just like, these questions.
No, definitely not. Your notepad, which I should elaborate. When I say notepad, I usually keep my my journal with me, and it's a exact replica echo of my hope chest. of all the things I wish and dream, and I put into a little box. And I keep that notepad with me, aka journal, aka hope chest, and then a piece of paper to write my thoughts, my anxieties, and the hostage note that's going to get me out of here alive, and a pencil to write said note. 3 different things. 2 of them do involve paper. 1 of them involves dreams.
Well, speaking of that, that's going to lead us to our next lightning round.
It's time to get that.
Christ, you got here pretty quick.
Yeah, physical work here now.
Yeah, I do the best in the worst situations. What are you going to do?
Hey, John, that vest looks pretty good. Your eyes look pretty sleepy, man. You need to ease up on them screens, man.
Well, I got a lot of squinting. I'm always squinting.
All right, I do too, man. I'm gonna go back and start hustling some bags. Just squint real good, like.
Jesus Christ, that went from 0 to 100.
Yeah, right.
I see it, buddy.
Weird, bro.
You know it's out of love. He loves us. Come on. Lightning round guy, he loves us.
No, lightning round guy is one of the best guys I know. Like the shit we went through. We did nickel and sing together. I owe him. I owe him, bro. That's all I'm gonna say. Leave it at that. Fucking think about that. Then let's hey man, I got a shot ready. Should we do one before or after? I don't want to.
Actually, for this one, I'm gonna say after because this is one of your favorites and mine, but not necessarily one of my boy Pete's favorites. That's right. It is the Safe Comedian. It is a Safe Comedian. This is where I give Pete a theme to be a stand-up comedian on and an audience, and he has to tiptoe around it.
Here's the deal. I have a shot poured, and I might take one during this bit because fuck you, John, for doing this to me again. This is probably my least favorite of all the bits you do. All right, I'm ready. All right, go. I'm still gonna drink cocktails.
So this is your love of money. A little bit about your love of money in Red China.
I need you to clarify, John. I know in your mind movie you're saying good things at this point in your life, but you said 3 words. This is your love of money in Red China. So
okay.
I feel like
that's correct.
I'm in a John Rambo movie from 1991. I don't know what we call Red China anymore, John. Is this something to do with the Iron Curtain? Is this Rocky 2? Am I going to go train in a fucking forest? Can you clarify and use your goddamn words, John?
Let's say you're the first American comedian in front of an audience of Ho Chi Minh and 10,000.
Ho Chi Minh, that is. Now
oh
you're
no!
Talking,
oh crap!
You're killing me. You
Mao.
are doing the worst.
Mao.
Mao Zedong.
Yes.
Okay. Ho Chi Minh. All right. Follow the Ho Chi Minh Trail. Follow the Ho Chi Minh Trail. No, John.
It's like God. Yeah.
You're not going back to Vietnam in this joke. All right. So a capitalist comedian has somehow landed in communist China.
Yes, you're like Blood, Sweat, and Tears, the first American band allowed behind the Iron Curtain of Russia, but you were the first American comedian allowed into Red China. 10,000 audience with
I would
Mao there.
prefer. I would prefer to be referred to as Bruce Springsteen. If you're going to do an allusion or a metaphor or an analogy,
A comparison.
If we could do a monogram shirt. All right, John, here's the deal. I don't know how I got here. I'm unsure about why I've come to this place. Here's the deal. No, John, I can't come on. Okay, everybody, thanks. Our plane stops here on the way. It's a private jet, but you guys know how private jets are, right? I hear crickets. Hear crickets are good this time of year. You guys eating well? Oh, more crickets. Fair enough. All right, folks. Let me ask you a question. It's a personal question. I'm going to talk to you in the front row. Sir, what's your name? I'm just going to go ahead and say Lee. Lee, how much did you pay to get into the show tonight? Don't understand, can't hear, don't know the denomination. Here's the deal, Lee. Not enough. Oh. And the wah fills the room. Okay, I get it. You guys don't understand. As soon as our jet's refilled, we are out of here. My manager, aka partner, aka financial purse holder, sent me out here to earn my pittance, and I see there's gentlemen with guns coming into the room. All right, folks, what we're going to do here is we're going to clean things up, right? I would like to apologize, number one, for all the misgivings that I may have portrayed on the stage. Number two, what I would like to do is look to the side and see if our jet is filled. It is not.
You're doing good.
Mousy tongue rules, mousy tongue rules, mousy tongue rules. Baba booey, how it produces penis. Go.
Your next one. So that was fantastic. We got out of there only a couple of deaths. Anyway.
Nick of time. Only an internment camp later.
Safe, my boy Pete. I got you at a private party this time. That was a really big crowd. I know you don't do great with stadiums. You like the crowd work. So I got you a private party. So this is, and this is all relating to your real life, right? So this is that great time that you went to the Chris Rock stand-up show that when you saw him live at Palm Springs. So you're going to do that bit at the Smith House. Okay.
What do you mean? I'm going to do that bit at the Smith House. What does that mean?
Talk about how great of a time you had.
The Smith House. What is the Smith House?
That'd be Will and Jada Pinkett. Yeah, no, we got this.
What are you? No. I don't understand what you're saying. You think you're doing great. I don't understand what you're saying.
I'm taking you to Will Smith's house, and you're going to talk about that fantastic time that you had watching Chris Rock do his recent stand-up when you paid money and went and saw him live.
What are you talking? You're the word. I want you to go to the space station.
Oh, you know what? They just canceled. I'm sorry. No, yeah, we lost that gig. Okay, so your next one. We got your next one. This is about that recent mind-expanding LSD trip that you did at the LDS church cookout.
Holy shit! It's about that, but oh no! Oh. This is a mic. Check, 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 check. Folks, I know there's a lot of kids running around out there. There's a lot of good potluck. Praise Joseph. I'd like to give my testimony right now. So if I could get your attention. Is this going to work? All right, fair enough. Folks, I'd like to talk to you about a recent experience I had. Something that changed my belief in a way that a lot of people won't understand. But it happened among you last week. And I feel like all of you were a part of it. And I'd like to take the time to relive those events and tell you exactly how it affected me and how I think it will affect you. Praise Jesus. Praise Joseph. Praise the Smith, the band, and the prophet. Last week, I did come to this potluck under false pretenses. I know. If I'm honest, I have come this week under false pretenses as well. But last week, I was with that sweet young darling over there, Miss Jessie Graham. Now, sweet girl, I do have to apologize. But I will say that I came to church with her trying to give the illusion that I was interested in I don't know how you say, the bullshit you're interested in. I'm sorry. I mean, Joseph Smith and the golden tablets. Anyway, after we went to service, I did come to the potluck. And I do admit it was too much for me. I proceeded to take aggressive amounts of hallucinogens, which would explain the reason I was touching all the elders' faces in the buffet line. I would like to apologize. My hands were clean, but you did look like Wookiees and needed to be petted at that time. Also, I would like to apologize to the children in the sack race. Again, I was under amazing amounts of hallucinogens. You also look like small Wookiees. I know, some would say Ewoks. I say small Wookiees. And you were attacking me, so I had to defend myself. Hearts, thoughts, and prayers go out to the Johnson boy. Praise Joseph Smith. We hope he gets better. Which leads me to why I'm here today. I love it that you're also silent. You're also such a peaceful crowd at this LDS barbecue. I do appreciate it. My manager, John L. Peacock, has paid enough money to the LDS Church to let me apologize and to possibly make me an apostle. I don't know. Time will tell. But until then, you're welcome and thank you. My boy Pete out.
So they loved you at the Mormon cookout. Just so you know, I'm not actually here right now. I am just a voice in your head. You're having a terrible flashback. You need to concentrate, my boy. You're tied up to a chair, and there's a gun being held to your head right now. You need to concentrate on your that bit with the anarchistic tendencies. It'll get you free.
This is bullshit. This is bullshit. I mean, the state of America. It's fucking bullshit. Am I tied up because I had a bunch of C4? Fuck you. You guys don't get it. Oh, you think you're gonna waterboard me, American FBI? You think you're gonna do it? You can't do it. Oh shit. Oh. You're not FBI. I knew that. That's what I'm saying. I got C4, you guys. C4, you guys don't understand. I'm a comedian. Here's the deal. Folks, if you pull my hands free, I will talk a lot better. I speak in hand gestures. And thank you. Okay, here's the deal. You guys, I'm going to be much better now. First off, thanks so much for bringing me your compound. I've been looking at compounds, and this is way nicer than anything I've ever seen. Also, that C4 thing, that was a joke to get these bad boys free. I don't have any C4, but if you have some C4, I'll C5 you a C spot later, and we'll get those Benjamins going tomorrow. Scorsese style. All right? You don't understand that. It's an inside joke. You had to be there. Focus on the now, guys. Here's the deal. We have a problem. We're in a dungeon, bunch of dudes, no chicks, no C4. What are we going to do? I say we go to my house, find some C4, 5 chicks. Okay. No, you're right. I did already say I didn't have the C4. Right. So why would you believe I had the 5 chicks right in my house? No, I'm not. No, I'm not a human trafficker. That's, you guys, come on. You're trying to blow shit up. Like, why would you be offended if I did? No, I don't. No, I don't know anyone who does. Well, maybe my neighbor, like a lot of comings and goings. Should we call him? You guys want to call him? All right, here's the deal. I'm not going to ask about the C4, but see what we can do about some entertainment. The safe word is abracadabra. Abracadabra, bro. No, I'm not wearing a wire. I just saw that in a movie, and I'm really scared right now, and I don't want to be here. Did I mention I'm a comedian? Okie dokie. Folks, that's my time, and I will see you in the green room.
Congratulations. You got yourself killed.
I know. I always do, man. I can't make it past the Dungeons and Dragons level 4. It's bullshit.
That's fantastic. We are going to plow straight into our final segment for the evening.
No.
And we're going to get out of here.
We're going to do a shot before we do any of that because you told me I couldn't and I felt bad about it. But you know what? Maybe you don't and maybe I do because I deserve it. Maybe you.
You do deserve it. Hey, I know that that's one of your least favorite, but you can find a groove, bro. Like the first are just a couple of fillers just to get you percolating.
No, but it's not even. Then I don't even do comedy sets. Now I do scene work. I'm like, okay, I'm a hostage in a thing like, and the only through line of comedy. Like, did I mention I'm a comedian? That's not funny. That's not a comedy set. I'm doing a scene like, Papa, Papa, why don't you love me?
Okay, that was the weirdest scenario I've ever given you, but you worked it. You worked it, baby.
But it's not a thing, man. Like, anyway, cheers to me, cheers to you, cheers to everybody. Bing,
Cheers,
bing, bing.
cheers to all. Everything is everything, and everything is blessed. Oh. We're gonna finish this up by
before we.
Yeah.
I just want you to know that Fleur de Lys is on the 100-pound note. It's issued by the Royal Bank of Scotland.
Oh.
No big deal.
That's all right.
So
Good for them.
You gonna do your Franklins or your Illays? It's all about Illays.
Baby. I think it's Islay, like the Scotch.
Well, you know them as long as I have. It's Illay.
Oh, that's right.
Illay, come here, boy. What? Okay. Leave on a high note. We're gonna go right into our last segment and plow through. And John's not even gonna do any more dates. I swear to God. You can put down your pens, papers, and notepads, and your hope books and dream chests.
Yeah, let's get loosey goosey. I'm just no dates. I'm just gonna do things, and if you need a date, you ask for it, baby. Actually, I don't think I have a lot of dates here.
No.
I have centuries. Like that's the date I have. Like are centuries okay?
You don't need it. Yeah, centuries are fine as long as you don't read them back to back to back.
Right. Okay. Great. So you did so great with that last one. That was kind of a mind trip of you on LSD while tied up and everything. So we're gonna finish this off with talking about the Mad Hatter.
Go on. I do say I am intrigued, John. Please do continue.
Thank you, Caterpillar. So the expression "mad as a hatter" is linked to the hat-making industry and mercury poisoning. In the 18th and 19th centuries, industrial workers used a toxic substance, mercury nitrate, as part of the process of turning the fur of small animals, such as rabbits, into felt for hats.
I wanted more animals. You said animals, small animals such as rabbits. I wanted small animals such as rabbits, badgers, beavers, orphans. I wanted.
You got them. I mean, rabbit was the best because it was the softest, but you got the other ones. The orphans were kind of the cheap ones.
Yeah, no. Please, sir, I'd like some more orphans. More? Orphaner. Never before have a Mad Hatter been. No, nothing there. Nothing there.
Buffalo Bill's making the orphan hats for sure.
I'd orphan me. Would you orphan me? I'd make my parents go away. I don't like parents.
Buffalo Bill, orphan as in without parents, or orphan frequently?
Orphan. Don't have parents. I'd not orphan me.
See, now I'm going British. He's not British. He's just
I know, yeah. Well, yeah, it's all right. So workplace safety standards are often were lax, and prolonged exposure to mercury cause employees to develop a variety of physical and mental ailments, including tremors, which were dubbed the Hatter's Shakes, speech problems, emotional instability, hallucinations.
Love it. Give me some. Wait, are you done?
No, well, those were the big ones, but they also.
No, go ahead. I'm trying to go off of all of you said. The Hatter Shakes, the emotional problems. Sean, sign me up. What else you got, baby? Apparently, I've been exposed to mercury.
We also have drooling, pathological shyness, irritability,
100%. Yep.
and it looked a lot like drunkenness, which was a misconception. So the employers were able to exploit it.
You guys, here's the deal: we haven't been drinking at all on the two side. We have mercury poisoning, and I feel like you need to call the authorities. I got the Hatter shakes, and Daddy needs a cocktail. John, what else you got, baby? This is a fun one.
So in Connecticut, that mercury-induced tremor was called there the Danbury Shakes because it after the city of Danbury, which was the leading center for hat making.
The Danbury Shakes. Oh, you like the Charleston? Well, you love the Danbury Shake. First, you put your left hand in, you shake it, and you put your right hand in, and you shake it. And then you do the palsy, hey, palsy, gonna die young. Oh.
So the 19th and 20th centuries, the early years of the 20th centuries, Danbury, Connecticut was the place. If you got a hat in the United States, it came from there. All the hat makers were there.
Okay, so I don't know why. I'm imagining. Did you ever see the movie Jim Cotta?
No.
Horrible movie. You need to actively it was Bloodsport, like before Bloodsport was a thing. It was 88, 89.
Okay.
There's a dude who's a gymnast who went to, and it was like Bloodsport death match, but it was a race. And your race was, as you run through this thing, people try to kill you, and you got to fight them and kill them and move on through the race.
Like running the ultimate gauntlet.
Yeah, and it gets through part of the. Once you get through the thing, you got to go to the village of the insane, and it's just like crazy people who are trying to attack you and kill you and eat you and
Danbury.
Go through the village. Danbury. So it's a bunch of hat makers. So if you go to Connecticut, like I'm gonna go to Danbury and get my hat. I wouldn't go there if I were you. I'd order it online. There's no online. Well, you're fucked then.
I mean, it was called the hat capital of the world. This one town in Connecticut. It was literally, there were so many people slowly dying of mercury poisoning because they were the laborers and no one listened to it. They're like, that one, fire them because they look drunk. I'm not drunk, sir. I've never drinking it. I'm Mormon. I would never do that. Yeah, sure you are drunk. You look at your slurring. Your tremor.
That was my nickname back in college, the Drunken Tremor. It was. I had on my high school jacket, John. It was really good. The Drunken Tremor. Look at him. He moves all over the place, crazy, all like a hibbity-dibbity kitty cat. Meow. Sorry, John. I had a really big sneeze that cleared my entire life journey, and I came back in. I didn't even know what was happening. All right, I'm better now.
Well, I bless you, and let's move on. So the history of why it all went to Danbury is a legend that a man named Zadok Benedict plugged a hole in his shoe with fur. He found sweat and friction, turned it into felt, and then he made fur hats on his bedpost and eventually opened a hat shop on Main Street. Others followed, setting up small hat shops in Danbury. And by the 1800s, Danbury had more hats than any other U.S. city.
Let's hold up for a hot second.
Yeah.
Let's unpack this, right?
Yeah.
Let's unpack this. So this dude plugged a hole in his boot with fur.
Yeah.
He found that sweat and fur equals felt.
Yeah.
So, in conclusion, what he pulled from that, or what you pulled, is then he made felt hats on his bedpost.
Yep.
right. Let's just stop there, John. You want to take a breath and think about any of those facts. I don't need to approach the bench at this. I'm going to say it in full court, open court. Jury doesn't even have to leave. Here's the deal, John. Sweat, fur equals felt. All I need is a bunch of fur and a bunch of sweat, and I can make felt. Where do I get the most sweat? In my bed. This dude fucked, John.
That was foot sweat, my friend. That was foot sweat.
Yeah, but he understood. He had a scientific mind.
Well, that's true. Right. Yeah.
He was like, you know what? I didn't have some salty body liquid. The more people in my bedpost radius, the better. And they say he died of mercury poisoning. He died of syphilis, John. Happy and a hat maker.
Yeah. Oh, syphilis also drives you insane. Correlation or causation?
No, I'm thinking they just said, oh, it's mercury. He's like, no, it wasn't. I didn't use mercury. I used human sweat. I'm an animal and I fuck. All right, fair enough. Anyway, so he plugged a hole in his boot, found the fur, found the felt, did the bedpost, fucking did the thing. Hat
Copycats, yeah, super successful. Right.
Super Connecticut business. All right,
yeah.
Here we go.
A lot of copycats. It just became a center. So the 1800s industrialization and consumer demand fueled the growth of Danbury's hat factories, which produced 5 million hats a year. People called Danbury Hat City, or the hat capital of the world, and formed baseball teams called Danbury Hatters. A lighted sign proclaimed, "Danbury crowns them all," and the city put up a derby hat on its seal. This went on for a while.
Oh, dude, it was crazy. It was like going to fucking Atlanta, where every street is named Peach something. So you go down there, like, oh, so if you go down Hat Street to Hat Avenue, but if you get the Hat District, you're too far. You want to be at Hats in the Hats Bazaar. That's east of Hat Plaza.
Right.
You're like, I don't know what's happening. I'm just gonna get a bunch of mercury and fuck off. That's how a lot of it happened, John. Little do they know.
So, with enough union support, finally, on December 1st, 1941, Connecticut banned the use of mercury in hat making. Hat makers instead used hydrochloric acid, a safer alternative.
Boo! The worst acid ever. You can barely get high off that shit. And you can hardly dissolve a body with it. So it has no use. You guys, come on. They get it.
But it was almost too late. The hat industry had declined, and only 6 hat factories remained in Danbury. So the city's last hat factory, Stetson, closed its doors in '65.
Stetson was in Danbury?
Yep.
Okay. I'm all ears now, but they closed in '65, John. Where did they move to after that? I bought a Stetson in '89 and '94. And
Those are knockoffs, bro. Knockoffs. China.
No, there's a Stetson.
India.
No, there's a Stetson company now. Stetson is a thing. And I also bought another one. Yeah, my dad has a Stetson hat. It's fucking Stetson. Come on, man. Oh, it's the voice. Come on.
Well, really? it's the last one to close in Danbury, so they definitely moved.
Okay, so they moved. It's not
right.
a knockoff.
The hat capital of the world, Hat City. The Hatters were their baseball team. All the stuff. They're no hats. No hats are made.
Yes. All right. No hats. All right. I'm with you. Okay.
Yeah.
As long as you're not belittling my fucking cowboy hats that I have in my closet, then we're okay.
So, the Mad Hatter from Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland is arguably one of the most popular children's book characters in history. The zany, tea-obsessed hatmaker has inspired costumes, art pieces, clothing, fan fiction, films, songs, and musicals across the globe. But the Mad Hatter isn't merely a brainchild of Carroll. Carroll's inspiration came from watching people in insane asylums throughout his childhood into early adulthood. It was the Victorian era mental asylums, and that's where the Tea Party, the Mad Tea Party, and the character of the Mad Hatter very directly draw from, using the phrase "mad as a hatter" for flourish.
Okay. So the things you're subjected to in your childhood and your early years, you can use as a device, a literary device, to convey your thoughts, your ideas of, okay. All right, fair enough, John. I feel like you're failing as a writer, because if Lewis Carroll could do it, you're way more traumatized than him. I'm not literate, so I feel like I have a pass. We both have to do better because we're way more traumatized than Lewis Carroll ever was. Looking Glass, my friend, you can suck my Jabberwocky.
Obviously, you're way more traumatized because you didn't even bat an eye nor think to question why is he in asylums as a child into early adulthood.
bro, the places I grew up, bro, come on. Just because I had parental figures who were running places doesn't mean that I was like, I was at places. I hung out at places. I was in a shit ton of parking lots just hanging out. Fat kid, funny, couldn't skateboard well. Man, you are open game for the hood, man. Come on. I only freedom was yelling who my dad's name was. Oh shit. Okay. John, come on, Lewis. Oh, everybody grows up somewhere weird they don't want to be. That's what growing up is.
Yes, but why?
Not correct?
Why?
No, not why. Because your parents have to work. Because you can't be left to your own devices at home by yourself. Because you set shit on fire. Like, there's very specific reasons. State of California mandates that you have to be in parental visual all the time. John, I digress. I'm just letting you know. If you had a great upbringing of being in all the places you wanted to be all the time, kudos to you, my friend. I know you had a different upbringing because you were the youngest of 94.
Right.
Your father was Noah, and there was 2 of every sibling ahead of you. Sorry.
That's why I call them all brothers. That's why I call them all brothers.
That's funny to me because it's religious and it's a lot. It makes me laugh. I apologize. But I'm just saying, more than 3 is more than I count. I love your family's great. Like, fucking shit. If you didn't grow up somewhere like, you stayed in a car for 4 or 5 hours where I could have been suffocated. Yeah, but they cracked a window. Just keep the car. I was smart enough to unlock the door and open the door and I hope I don't get caught, but I hope I'm not going to die in here. Man, that's childhood. I'm sorry. Yeah, you went to an insane asylum. I'm sorry. Welcome to childhood. Oh, what are you gonna do? Write a bestseller? Be an amazing actor? Lead the country?
Is that you?
I'm gonna say probably. Start a cult where you brand everybody? Maybe so. I just need a nice pasture where we can set a foundation.
All right, you're right. We all come from somewhere. We all got our own, upbringings. Yes, but the guy's name is just so great. I got to tell you, man. Robert Wilfred Skeffington Lutvidge, who was the commissioner in Lunacy, was Carol's very close uncle.
All right, so here's the deal. You're using his Christian name. You're using his court name, the thing that people say when they're pressing charges.
Right.
Say it one more time, and I'm going to tell you how we referred to him.
Okay.
Back in the neighborhood.
Okay. Robert Wilfred Skeffington Lutvidge.
Robbie Lutz. Oh, shit, man. Robbie Lutz around? Nah, he's over the asylum. You know how he do. Crazy as shit. Nice guy. Always brings beer. Robbie Lutz! What up?
Commissioner in Lunacy.
I would fist fight him for that title, John. I'm gonna go on a limb and say that I've earned it. What has he done to become the commissioner of Lunacy? I take umbrage with the word "of" that he uses on his business card.
No, it's in. He's the commissioner in Lunacy. I think that's what you're taking umbrage with.
Okay, fair enough. I didn't hear you. He can pass.
Yeah.
I'll stay with the commissioner of Lunacy.
There you go. So, in a December 24th, 2009 interview with the Los Angeles Times, Johnny Depp is quoted as saying that he was aware of the implications of the Hatter's behavior. Quote, "I think the Mad Hatter was poisoned. Very, very poisoned. And I think it just took effects in all his nerves. It was coming out through his hair and through his fingernails and through his eyes. And that's why he has red hair, according to Depp in that interview."
Boo! I'd shit on his bed too. I'd take a shit on his bed. I don't know if you watch the court trials, but like saying an answer like that, Johnny Depp, you deserve a turn on your bed. No, sir. No, sir. 3 bags full. That is an actor saying some bullshit at a press junket. That, man, I think that my character was, if you ever like my character, if you refer yourself, well, you know what? The Hatter really acted like he was, motherfucker, that was you. You did it. Man, we're in the same. Come on. That bullshit, I can't stand. Well, I did a deep dive into. Cool, you can go and spend a year, 8 months, 4 months in the country, in the culture of whatever you're doing. Like, your choices are you. How the hair color is fucking costumes and props. You had nothing to do with that. You are now talking bullshit about what they put you in. I really think that their vision was that it was coming out. Shut the fuck up. I'm going to poop on your bed. Sorry. I know I've said that 3 times now. But that's the only thing I can think about from the trial.
Allegedly.
Sue me.
Allegedly. So here's a new quote. This is from John Howard, director of the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health. It's Nyaush Okay. So, quote, society has made great progress in recognizing and controlling industrial hazards since Lewis Carroll's day. The kinds of conditions that put hat makers and other industrial workers at risk in 1865 are no longer tolerated.
Can't do it. Won't do it. Not a problem.
However, he emphasized, the hatter remains a cautionary figure, since exposures to mercury and other hazardous industrial substances can still occur in the workplace. Boom!
Thanks, OSHA. What have you done for us lately? Oh, my slip and fall incident at the hospital? Fuck you.
So there's also a pop culture Mad Hatter, a criminal in the Batman comic series. Obsessed from a young age with Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland, Jervis Tetch, a brilliant neuroscientist, embraced the delusion that he was the incarnation of a character in the story, the Mad Hatter. Using hypnotic skills for mesmerism, Tetch, as the Mad Hatter, has committed many crimes, often themed around the book that inspired him and his love of hats and headgear, going so far as to plant his hats ranging from pith helmets to bowlers with mind control chips to amplify his hypnotic skills.
I'm a big fan that you chose to use the words hats and headgear.
Mm-hmm.
When you say headgear, to me, it takes me back to when my sister was 15 and had fucking headgear with a fucking thing around her head, and I would grab her by it like, "Come here!" She's like, "Stop!" And it's like, "We paid $2,500 for that."
Like Joan Cusack in 16 Candles.
Yeah, I think so. Exactly, John.
And to finish this out, the most famous real person thought to be a Mad Hatter in the 1800s was Boston Corbett. Boston is, as a first name, is pretty awesome, actually. I was like, oh, is that where he's from? No. Boston Corbett, a hat industry worker who killed John Wilkes Booth, Abraham Lincoln's assassin.
No, come on now. Let's. John Wilkes Booth was he with the army? Because John Wilkes Booth was killed in front of a barn by the army.
Yeah. Okay. So, let me get to that. Because he might have suffered from poor mental health due to mercury poisoning. Corbett, who had been employed as a hatter maker since he was a young man, became a religious zealot, and in 1858 castrated himself.
Like we do. Oh, like we do. In 1858.
With a pair of scissors as a way to curb his libido. He also gave away all of his possessions and money.
That guy fucks, or he fucked previously, and he's like, I just can't do it anymore. We've all been there, John. But a lot of us don't have access to scissors.
So after Lincoln's play that he watched, after all that stuff happened, Corbett and his regiment, the 16th New York Cavalry, were sent to track down the gunman who was on the lam. On April 26th, the soldiers surrounded Booth in a Virginia barn. However, Corbett disobeyed orders to capture the fugitive alive and instead shot and killed him. Corbett was cleared of blame by the military and lauded by many in the public as a hero for his role in avenging the president's death.
Yeah. They were Old Testament, John. They were eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. That is the America I know.
So you were right, my boy Pete. Yes.
I'm saying. So he was previously in a regiment. He didn't join up after.
No, he was So he was super into Lincoln. He was super anti-slavery, and he joined up when the war happened. Obviously, yeah.
Right. So
yeah.
super good. You're prefacing all that now. It's really good. So that leads us to then believe that we need to have standards to get crazy people out of our armed forces.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. So you were right. The army shot, but it was him. He was in the army, and he was the one who shot.
We make. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So,
are you trying to stop me from talking, or what are you trying to do?
No, finish. I'm sorry. I was agreeing with you, and I was saying you were right. The army shot him, Booth, but
right,
he was the army man who did it.
Again, yes, we heard you the first time.
Okay.
And the second time, and now the third time.
That's right.
Yes. You know what? 100%, bro. I was just pushing forward the idea that this was that we should not have crazy people in the armed forces. And I was going to finish that thought and that joke. But I realized at that point, because you let me know aggressively that yes, it was the army that did, but he was part of the army. Yes. I'm on board, bro. Get it. I think we all get it. John.
I got just a little bit left. So eventually he resumed working in the hat industry in the Northeast before moving to Kansas, where he lived a solitary existence as a homesteader. He was landed in a mental asylum after threatening a group of people at the Kansas State House with a gun. But the following year, this possible Mad Hatter, who was then in his 50s, escaped the facility and soon disappeared forever. And that's all we know about Boston Corbett.
That's all we know. And I'd like you to reconsider all of the things you thought previously about Boston Corbett. We are the two-sided, and we're not going to rest till we get to the bottom of what happened with Boston. Folks, you can see us here every Tuesday, Thursday, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. Our handle is Two-Sided Pod, or the Two-Sided Pod, or
Two-Sided Pod.
Not Two-Sided. Or I can't believe it's not Two-Sided Pod. All of those things will lead you to the same place. Folks, hear me now, believe me later. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your coworkers, tell your parole officers. That was the fun segment.
So the sources for this episode of Two-Sided have been, first segment, uscurrency.gov, depositaccounts.com, teachinghistorywithhamilton.org, CEIFX.com, the National Museum of American History, BoweryBoysHistory.com, Investopedia, and RBCWealthManagement.com. Second segment, the History Channel, Batman.fandom.com, New England Historical Society, History101.com, and the CDC.
John, I'm shocked and appalled by all of the research you've done. I think we need to do a slow clap because I did no research. Kudos to you, my friend. Kudos.
Thanks, buddy.
Yep.
Well, on that note, My boy Pete, is there anything from this episode you'd like to take a second glance at, a second look, a second thought, a second opinion? This is Pete's Retraction Corner.
100%, John. 100%. Some of my vitriol pointed towards you. I feel like it should have been sharpened just a bit to make it hit home more. I feel like you should have done less slurring, so I would have been a little more poignant. I feel like the best is yet to come, John. I feel like the best is yet to come.
Fantastic. Let's do a shot, get out of here, and go into the green room, which for those listening live, obviously is the same room. You know, I have my spiel, but thanks for listening, everybody.
We will be here in the same green room. I don't know what your spiel is, but if it doesn't involve that, no, it does. All right, you do your thing. Go ahead. You burped, and I became unsure.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We have our open chat show live on stereo every Tuesday at our usual start time. So if you want to join us or want to throw some topics out there, email twosidedpod@gmail.com. TWO sidedpod@gmail.com. And for those listening live on the stereo app, stick around in this room for a continued chat in the green room right now for our after show wind down. That's a wrap for tonight. I'm John L. Peacock out in Brooklyn, New York.
I'm my boy Pete, and I should have known better in Southern California.
And this was our show. You can eavesdrop wherever you get your podcasts and even join us live, both on our YouTube channel, handle at two-sided-pod, TWO-sided-pod, all one word.
All lowercase.
And the stereo app every Thursday, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern, as we talk about the two sides of life, the serious and the fun, here on Two-Sided. I love you, Pete.
I can't wait to see you again, John.
You don't X out of anything. You stay there. You don't do anything. Really, don't.